If you're a car person or not, pony cars tend to turn your head and make you want one after you watch them go by. And one of the most notorious pony cars out there is a Ford Mustang. And many of you guys can't go out on a drive without seeing one or two at least pass you. And so this information would be beneficial to you, just to have some little background behind them. For those of you that don't know, I'm a current owner of two Mustangs, a 1968 Mustang and a 2013. I just recently got a couple months ago. And then today I'm just going to inform you about the history on the Ford Mustang by going through the origin of the Mustang, the 6 different generations throughout its life, and then the sales overall in the United States. So let's begin with the origin. According to Roger Hart's Auto Week article, volume 53, a guy named Lee Iocala in 1961 wanted to make a car that was a 4-seater, lightweight, under 2,500 pounds, and was affordable to the everyday working man. And so for 3 years they worked on this idea, and finally in 1964 at the Rogue plant in Dearborn, Michigan, in March, the first car rolled off the assembly line, and I believe in the first day of sales they sold like 22,000, which is just incredible. So now that we talked about the origin, let's just talk about the generations of Mustangs and the evolution behind it. So in USA's Today's PDF of 50 years of Mustangs, it says that there are a total of 6 generations, and generations 1 and 2 are really the base to how it'll look and how it'll run. So generation 1 is from 1965 to 1973, and it came with a V6 and a 3-speed manual, which many of your cars probably have like a V6, V4, like a 6-speed transmission. And then it came with a nice padded, luxurious dash and bucket seats. Bucket seats just sit you back more down in the car. And then it weighed 2,572 pounds and cost only $2,300. Within the first generation also came some new styles to the car, and one of those being the fastback. It's a much sleeker, cooler looking car. And then also came the first really racing and kind of lap car, the Shelby GT350. It produced 306 horsepower, which is way more than what the base model does, and again, it's just for more of your track racing. And then we have generation 2 from 1974 to 1978. Many changes happened to this car. It became 19 inches shorter, lost 470 pounds, and it really just came with a smaller engine. But along with the smaller engine also came another performance car called the Cobra 2, and it, along with the Shelby GT350, is more your performance package. But it came equipped with a spoiler, racing stripes, and hood scoop, so it really looked the part of a racing car as well. Next we have generations 3 and 4, and generations 3 and 4 really took on a new model of car called the Fox model. It's longer yet lighter. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of these, but anyway, it's called the Fox model. And it has a stronger engine than before with the V6 with 140 horsepower and a V8 that produces 210 horsepower. Next we have generation 4 alone, same with the Fox model from 1994 to 2004. As you can see there, 1,300 parts out of the near 1,900 parts were changed. They completely went in and redid it. And then in 1999, they did a full redesign of the body. As you can see in the picture, it's more defined. The lines are better on it. The hood looks different. The grille is different than before too. And then also generation 4 came the Cobra 2's brother, the SVT Cobra and the Cobra R, as pictured there, and it produced a whopping 240 to 300 horsepower, and that's, again, just like any other performance cars or track, time-to-lap type of cars. Finally, we have generations 5 and 6. These are your more modern type cars you'd see more day-to-day when you drive. In generation 5 from 2005 to 2014, the wheelbase of the car, so basically the main frame of the car was widened by 6 inches to make it look wider and meaner. And then a forward-leaning grille, so originally it was like straight up and out, leans forward a little bit to make it look more aerodynamic and cooler. And then the rear is more muscular and defined, just to give it bulk. And then in 2010, the engine received a major boost. As you can see, the V6 from 210 horsepower now produces 305, just from engineering technologies that people have improved on. And then the V8 now produces 412 horsepower. So then, according to the New York Times article on Wikipedia's Ford Mustang, the 6th generation is from 2015 to present. And what this is, the body changed, widened by 2 inches. The bodywork came more defined. The lines look better, as you can see in the picture. And a thing called independent rear suspension was added, where all 4 tires move with the bump as you go, so you're steadying and staying in one plane the whole time instead of maybe the front half bumping up and the front half bumping down. And then a new engine option became available called the EcoBoost, and it's more your fuel efficient type engine, producing 310 horsepower. Your V6 still 305, and your V8 now produces 435 horsepower. So now that we've talked about the different generations and how it's evolved over time, let's talk about the sales. So here we have a chart from Wikipedia's Ford Mustang, sources 78 through 97 here, and it gives every amount sold from 1964 and a half to 2017, and that, if you can see on the chart there, sales were really going strong until about 2009, and then they kind of dissipated a little bit, and that's kind of because more competitors came into the view with Chevy and Dodge creating cars that could compete with the Ford Mustang. So let's break this chart down a little bit. So here the total sales was 9,167,000 sold since 1964. The highest selling year was in 1966 was 607,000 units, and the lowest selling year was in 2009 with 66,000 units. So now that I've given you a brief history on the Ford Mustang, let's review it real quick. First, we talked about the origin with Lee Iocala and his view of the Mustang and vision of it. Then we went through the 6 different generations from 1964 to present. And then we talked about the sales with a total of 9,167,000 cars sold.